Well, hey crafty friends, it's Hiedi Scott with DIY and today we are going to make some wine cork crosses that are just beautiful. And you can take this shape that I'm going to teach you and you can make a wreath, you could make ornaments, they kind of look like flowers, you could do a ton of different things, you can paint them. So anyways, I don't know if you remember, but just recently I was out in Oregon visiting my son and we were checking out all the thrift stores, and one of the thrift stores had 2 big bags of wine corks that were $2 each. So of course I had to grab them. And now we're going to play. So let's hop right in. Do you want a little sneak peek of where we're going? All right, this is a little sneak peek. This is a magnetic board from DiyDreaming. All right, and this is where we are going. This is one of the places that we're going. Anyways, I'm going to show you everything start to finish. All right, so let's start with our shapes. And like I said, you can paint your corks any color you would like, you know, whether you want a beachy color, a Christmas color, a fall color, or no color at all. And then what you're going to need is 7 corks to make each one of these groupings that to me kind of look like a flower. And I have been playing with this there's the other side, for about 2 hours, and I have figured out the easiest way to put them together. So I'm going to show you that. Well, hey Dixie, hi Vicki, hey Helga. Thank you guys for joining me. Hi Marianne. As you're hopping on, tell me that you're here. Let me know where you're watching from. Feel free to sprinkle. Feel free to ask questions, all that normal good stuff. Okay, so the easiest way to do this, oh, and by the way, you definitely want to be using a low temperature hot gluing device for this project because it's a 100% certainty that you're going to get some glue, some hot glue on your hands. Okay, so I just poured out a bunch of these. And you want to make 3 sets of 2 and then pick out 1 center. So the sets of 2, you really want them to be about the same height. And all I'm going to do is just put I'll hold this up in just a second, a bead of glue to hold that set of 2 together. Let's do this one. It's too short. And this one. So this is seriously the easiest way. I need 3 sets of 2. Well, hey Carol from Michigan, how is your day going? Hope it is going good. Okay, I have my 3 sets of 2. And I have oodles of glue strings, which is just one of the things that happens when you're making these. You get lots of glue strings. Okay, and I need to pick a center that's going to be roughly the same height. If it's not the same height, it can look like this. I don't know if you can tell, that one's way shorter than everything else. So this will work. Okay, then, push this out of the way. Then what we're going to do is we are going to start with a set of 2, and we're going to glue our center piece in. You're going to need lots of glue. And I'm going to put a bead on either side of my 2 little pieces of cork and push it together. This is the center. And then all we're going to do is just glue our corks on in sets of 2. And then these are the last 2. And voila, we have a 7-piece cork cluster, which I think resembles a flower. And you could do some crafts with these as flowers. So I have been getting my sets all ready so that we could just crank them out, and let's do that. It's easier to glue them together if they're standing up. That's what I have found. And don't worry if you have glue poking out. I don't think it's going to be visible. So here's another little cluster. Let's do, what was my center for this one? Too short. I do want my corks to all be about the same height. Okay, we'll do that. Oh, I've got a center right here. What am I saying? Okay, so I'm going to just take a set of 2, and I'm putting 2 rows of glue on it, and I'm going to put my center piece of the cluster on. Then we're just going to be gluing around it. Can you see how we're just going around that center? And here's another one. Okay, and I'm going to show you what I did for stability on this big one, and then we're going to use this little cross from Dollar Tree as our stability for the one that we're making. So let me just crank this one out. I might need to do And if some of your corks were in bottles of red wine like that, you could do a cluster that's all of those, or a cluster that has one of those in the center, or a cluster with them all mixed up. It is completely up to you. I'm not sure if I have enough, so let me just finish this one out. You do the center on one of your 2s first. Then you add, if you add them one at a time, that did not happen right. If you glue them one at a time, you'll find that they're way, way lopsided and that it takes a lot longer. So this is the quickest way, and I've experimented all morning. Here's another cluster. I need one more. Okay, let's crank out one more. There's a set of 2. And I'm using only real cork. That one is too tall. Real corks, none of the plastic ones. I don't know if any of these corks that we're using that came in my bags, if they're special or not. That'll be pretty. We'll do that one. I'm just using what I have, basically. tall. Kind of. Perfect. What do you guys think? Thank you for sprinkling, Sherry. I really appreciate that. My algorithms with Facebook, that's just something that they use to decide whether they're going to show anyone what I'm doing or not. My algorithms are terrible. They're just about dead. Because I was in Idaho with my mom and I really was not live for almost a whole week because I was just doing what was important, being with my mom. So, like, Facebook might show something to 29 people when there's 240 something thousand people that follow this page. I don't know, it's crazy. Okay, so for this bigger one, I used these craft sticks. And then I used magnets, these button magnets. Be careful with these that they don't get on the floor. You don't want your pets or little people putting these in their mouths or swallowing them. Because then they get stuck together in their insides and they have to have surgery. So that's the back of that. And what I did with this is I just took some paint. I used white Waverly, put it on a paper plate, used my pouncer brush, and I just pounced on the top. And that's what you get. This one, I pounced on the top with white, and then when it was dry, I added a mixture of these two colors. One is pool and one is peacock. And I just pounced on the top. I just wanted to show you guys that these can be absolutely whatever color you would like. This one we're gonna do right now is gonna be neutral. It's just gonna be cork colored. But, so here is my piece. This right here is a magnetic board from magnoliadiy.com. It's awesome. I've used this so many times and then washed it off. And I used white chalk paste and this filigree leaf stencil, which I had to figure out where the meeting point was so that I could do 3/4 of the bottom and then 1/4 of the top. And this is the same stencil as what we used yesterday when we were doing the July Craft Club project. See that orange design? That is the same design as this. It's really pretty. I'm like, I don't know why I wasn't using it like crazy because it is so pretty. So this board is 14 by 16 or something like that, and it's magnetized. I need to spend some time removing glue strings, but I didn't want to glue anything on it permanently because I know come Christmas I'll want to do all kinds of different things. For fall I probably will too. So what do you guys think about that? Let me tell you how many I used. Okay, one in the center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Going up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 going across. So that's 11. If my math is right, 7 plus 4 is 11. 11 clusters, and each cluster has 7 corks on it. It has 3 pairs of 2 and then the center. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I went for big, but you could do this same idea on a much smaller scale if you would like. Okay, so let's fiddle with these that we made. All right, and my idea was to use one of these Dollar Tree crosses. We are using wine corks to make crosses, and we're making these little, like, clusters of wine corks to use to make crosses. Okay, so I wanted to use one of these Dollar Tree wood crosses, and I'm just going to kind of lay my corks on here and play for just a minute. Okay, it all needs to be scooched down just a little bit. And I think the wine corks are going to blend into the wood that's on either side. Okay, so I'm not putting my center one exactly in the center. Pull it up, and I'm just going to plop a bunch of glue on this. You could do hot glue, or if you would feel better about it, you could do E6000 or one of those kind of glues as well. Okay, so each piece, this is how they fit. Can you see that? I made, I don't know where they are, several years ago, the cutest little keychains using wine corks. Oh, I also made these adorable little birdhouses that I still have using acorn caps. These are real acorn caps, some moss and some little twigs. And then you can just poke them in to any kind of arrangement. And then I know I made a wine cork pumpkin, but I can't remember right now where that has gone to. Just trying to decide exactly how I want this to be on here. And this has a 1997 on one end of this cork, and I really I don't want that. Let's see, how do I want this arranged? That looks good. So I'm just going to glue down that end of my little wine cork cluster. And I'm gluing it right over the jute that is hanging this up. I guess I didn't glue that one on yet. This is what I have so far. That's what the back of it looks like. I am loving it. I think that there are so many different ways that you could style this. It could look so pretty. And if you wanted to paint the ends of your wine corks, you could totally do that as well. So I know somebody's going to ask, where do you get wine corks? Let me give you a couple of sources. What kind of glue did I use? This is a Surebonder Cool Shot. And I use the Surebonder, I don't have the package anymore, the actual Surebonder glue sticks. These are minis. They look like this. You can also buy Surebonder minis glue sticks for fabric, and people ask me about that all the time. They're a little bit more expensive. So the only time you really need to use fabric hot glue is when it's something that would be washed. Like if I was putting a ruffle on a sleeve, or a ruffle on a tea towel, or gluing ribbon to something that would need to be washed, then I would use the fabric hot glue. And the stuff I have right now looks like this. You can get clear also, but for some reason I have that creamy white. So I'm just using Surebonder. I'm not going to paint this one because I wanted to be able to see the difference. What do you guys think? It could possibly have one more up here. You know, everything's an experiment. So if you feel like it needed to be a little bit taller, go ahead and space them out so that you can do more this way than this way. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I would maybe do 5 and then 2 across. So what do you guys think? Isn't that fun? Okay, so where can you get corks? Well, if you like to do thrifting or go to garage sales, sometimes you can find them thrifting. I found so many bags of wine corks at thrift stores. Sometimes they want like $8, which is ridiculous. And then sometimes you just get lucky and they're asking $2. And I always have wine corks because they're such a great project. I also love these champagne corks. We made the cutest tassels. Do I have any out? No, I do not. Using vintage dictionary pages and vintage sheet music and a champagne cork. But okay, so thrift stores, if you like to drink wine, just put a dish in your kitchen and throw your wine corks in there. You can buy wine corks that haven't been used in wine at craft stores. They're going to be a little bit more expensive, and they're not going to have, you know, any of the holes where the corkscrew went in or where it was in a red bottle of red wine. But you can buy corks at craft stores. You can buy them on Amazon. You could go to a restaurant or bar that serves wine and ask the waiter or the bartender if it would be possible to get some of their corks. Sometimes they'll give them away. Sometimes they're trying to sell them. But anyways, there are a lot of different places that you can get wine corks. They are so pretty to look at. I pulled out a couple here. One of these looked like a house to me. Look at how pretty that is. And how pretty this one is. With that leaf in the center. Anyways, okay, let me grab our big one. And I showed you how you can paint them. You're just gonna make your little cluster. This is a pencil brush that came from Walmart. You can use a foam brush too. I'll dip it in my paint and then tap it on the end of my cork that I want to have colored. And I did light. You'll notice I didn't do solid coverage because that's the look I was aiming for. But you could flat out just paint them as well if you would like. All right, here's the big one. I can never figure out where I am in space. And here's the little one. So what do you guys think? Do you think that this is a project that you would like to try? If so, I would love to see pictures. And I have a Facebook group that is, it's called Dreamy Space DIY. And it is a place where we can all share pictures of our craft projects, to give each other even more ideas, to get some feedback, which is really nice, on your project. Like, you know, you might ask, should I paint this or leave it plain? Or you just post a picture and you get 25 people say, oh my gosh, that's totally beautiful. It feels so good when someone does that. So it's Dreamy, and then there's a space, DIY. It's a Facebook group. It's free. There's nothing that you have to do to join, except you have to answer the 3 questions. Number 1, will you be nice? Of course you will, but be sure you answer that question. Number 2, do you promise that you won't use that group to sell Mary Kay or t-shirts or whatever, whatever you might sell? And the 3rd thing is, that you won't share other crafters' videos in my group, in this Facebook group. Because as much as I love Sweet Barb from the Shabby Tree, she has a humongous page of her own, and I get a million questions of how this or that was done, and I'm not even the person who made it. So don't share other crafters' videos and just answer those questions. We'll admit you. Then I recommend that you get a glass of wine or a Diet Coke or a tea or coffee or iced tea or whatever, and sit down and click on the photos button and then just scroll, and you will see so many amazing craft projects that you guys have done. So I'd love to have you join that group, and I would love to see your wine cork crosses if you end up doing this project. Okie dokie. Do a this or a this. That's a heart. Say something to me in the comments to help revive my poor Facebook algorithms. Let me know if you have any questions. I mean, you can use absolutely whatever kind of paint you want. You can use absolutely whatever kind of hot glue you want. Just be careful. I recommend using a low temperature. And you can use whatever kind of wine corks you want, whatever you want to attach it to give it some stability. I did also use this beautiful filigree leaf stencil on this piece, and I think it turned out awesome. And I used Magnolia white chalk paste so that I can just get a wet paper towel and wipe that all off when I'm ready to do something different. That's big. Oh, and then I use these magnetic buttons you can get at Walmart, but be careful. And I think that's pretty much it. All right. I am working today on some brown craft paper projects. If I can get them finished and feel good about it, I might possibly go live today, but most likely we'll be doing that tomorrow. So come back tomorrow, or if you're watching on replay, just scroll through the videos until you can find that one and watch that one as well. Alrighty, take care everyone. I'll see you later.